Okay, guys. Good morning, everybody. This weekend I've been a little bit under the weather, so I hope that I will not lose my voice today. So let's try to do the lecture. And I would like to start by looking at the server side that we implemented last week. Then I have added one API that is, I don't find it, this one. This one, practically, we just ask if there is a user that is authenticated, and we just return the user if it is authenticated. Otherwise, we return an error. And then we will see after how we can use it from the front-end side. Okay. Then, yeah, here we set up the course options. Then we set up Passport and all the functions that it needs. This is a middleware that we can use after to check if a user is authorized to do a certain action. This one is to log in the user. This other one is, as I was saying before, to check if currently there is an authenticated user. And then the last one to log out. Then on this side, I don't think that we have nothing, and the other set of functions that are important for the authentication are, okay. This one is to log in which we define the email and the password from the credential, so an object that we pass to the login function. And so we can fetch with the post with so we define the method that is a post, the others and credential include, and the body that is the JSON object of email that will contain email and password. So if the response is okay, we just return the user, otherwise we can return an error. In this other function we can, this is the one to check if there is an authenticated user on the server. And if there isn't a user authenticated, it just returns an error with not authenticated. Otherwise, we return the JSON object of the response. And finally, the logout function, in which we fetch the logout. Okay. I want to underline that when we have a function that needs the user to be authenticated, we have to include the credential include. So thanks to this, the browser automatically inserts the cookies and so on to send the request to the server. Okay, so seeing this, we can speak about our agenda for today. So today we are going to implement the authentication from the front-end side. So we will just add a form and we can decide what are the action that the user can do. So just we will remove some button according if the user is authenticated or not. And I think that this is for the front end. Then, done this, we will start talking about an exam that is from 2 years ago, I think, that is from the 2022, I mean, 3 years ago. And so we will start reading the text. We can discuss it about it a bit, and then I don't know how much time we will have, but we can discuss about the database. Keep in mind that there isn't enough time to do all the exam. So today we will start implementing the database, I mean design the database. Then next week, in the first hour, we will see 3 examples from that exam call of 3 students that, if I'm not wrong, they got the maximum grade. So we will see 3 examples and we can discuss about it. Okay? So let's start implementing the login from the front end. What do we need from the front end side? Yeah. Okay. Is there someone else that can speak besides Guillaume? Yeah, no voice? Great. Okay. So we can define the form. Oh, here in the component. Okay, so what do we write? For like this? Yeah. Okay, so function login form. And then we write props. I don't remember if we need them. We will check later. So, okay. What we are going to return? So, don't consider this. It is not correct now.
Huh?
The token? Well, not actually. So consider that we are from the front-end side, okay? So what do we see when we want to perform the login? The text. Yeah, okay, but the user has still to log in. So we are constructing the login form. Sorry? Yeah, so we have to define a form. So, return in a container, we put it in a container. And then we have the form. That will have 2 fields. So, the first one that in which the user will insert the email, and the other one in which the user will insert the password. So let's define a form group in which we define the label, that is email, and then the text, where the user will insert its email. So we'll have form.control type email. It is required, and I don't remember if we are missing something. Okay, I will check later. Then we have the other group. Which we will have the password for and the control. Sorry, control. Okay, so this should be roughly.
Do we do a control form or an uncontrolled form? What is better for login?
Well, I will use the uncontrolled today. The choice between the controlled and the uncontrolled, I don't know exactly. For the login, it could be okay also using controlled, but it's okay to use also the uncontrolled. Okay. So we have roughly defined the form. We have just the email, the password. We are missing the buttons in this moment, but let's see if at least it has a nice aspect. So to see it, what are we going to do? Where do we put it? Yeah, okay, but we put the button, and then we have to display it. Where we will display it?
In app.
Okay, in app, we have to define it. What are we going to define? Yeah? Yeah, exactly. So let's go in app. And here we can add another route. In which we define login. Don't need it. And here we are going to put our login form. Oh, so let's close this one. Okay. Export. We have to export it. Okay. And from these, okay, we didn't include the form. Import form from. I don't remember if this is correct. I hope so. But it doesn't seem like this. Let's do like this, and then we will check. So here we import the login form. Okay. So let's see. Okay, I didn't start it. Okay, let's start the server. So Okay. Wait, an error. Let's see. Path login. Okay, we didn't define the. What is? Okay. Okay. Let's see. I don't think so. Let's see if I do like this. No, I don't remember. Yeah, it should be 4. And also the container, yeah. Yeah, can someone help me to debug this? You don't see the error?
Maybe to your export.
Let's see. Yeah, no, this one, this time I wrote correctly, I think.
But in the import on the other side.
Oh, let's see. No, I think that this is correct. First time that I have written correctly everything.
And when you overload the form, when you pass your mouse over loading form, is it right there?
No. This is the thing that I write always wrong, but this time I think that default is written correctly. Let's see. No, still. Right. Does not provide an export name, the login for. Great, we have solved it. For those who were intended on the PC, did you see the tricky error? I committed 2 errors. I wrote like this and like this. So we don't like this. And this one, this is because when we export with parentheses on the module, we then can import with the parentheses. For example, here we imported with the parentheses in model and question answer. I want just to show you. Here we export functions, and we can import on the other side with the parentheses. In this case, we are just defining one and exporting with default. And so here we don't import with parentheses. Okay, so let's see our beautiful form. Let's see. Function are not valid. Okay. Okay, great, beautiful, I don't know. Here, when you automatically, when you define on the login form with a type password, when the text is inserted, it automatically covers with source. Okay, here. Okay, so what are we missing here? Huh? Yeah, yeah, two buttons. Cancel to go back, and the submit button. So let's add here a button. We can put it blue, since the blue is our favorite color in this application. And it should be type submit, if I'm not wrong. I hope not. And then let's put it on this other side, button, variant. No. Danger. So.
You don't add the name of the button?
No, I didn't put anything. So in this one we put cancel or go back or whatever you want. And in this one we can put submit, login, again, whatever you want. And then obviously we haven't imported the button here. Oh, great. Okay, now the hardest part for me, because I never, especially when it's something new, I don't remember how to write the code, but let's try to do it correctly. We have defined our form, so now we have to make it work. Okay, so this is an uncontrolled form, so let's import the useStateAction from React. Import useActionState. If I say in any moment useStateAction, it is just useActionState, but I remember in the so useActionState from React. And we define here our state. Const action. What will be our action? Here we can write form action, then we have to insert it also in the form, and use action state. And then here we have to write the function that will be called when the submit button is pressed. So let's call it submit credentials in this case. And then we have to put the the initial state. I don't know why why Copilot is trying to define it here, but so let's define the initial state. We have just to insert the email that will be void initially, and then the password, again void initially. Okay, here we can pass to the form the action defined with use action state. So action, this form action, and then we can define our function that will be called when we click on submit. Async function. But this is not correct. So what we pass are the previous date and the form data. Well, what we need actually is the form data. So form data. And let's define our credential. So we can extract our credential from the form data. Const credentials. So we have email, form data dot get email. Yeah, this is correct. Then what we do with this credential? Is there someone else? Yeah, I think that in this case the uncontrolled form should automatically check this thing with if I don't know how, in some way, but no, this one. Yeah, the uncontrolled form automatically automatically control if, for example, here we have an email or not.
One question, is it a registration or a login?
No, this is only the login. We will not see the registration part. Okay, so we have in some way to communicate with the database now. So, just one moment, please. Let's see here. I think that we have a function, but no. Okay, yeah. We define here a function that automatically calls the API, so we can import from here the login. I don't know if I already exported here. Yeah. And when we can define, I was writing here, okay, the function that will handle the login. So on the app, we can define handle login, in which we pass directly the credentials, I think. Yeah, credentials. And so Here we can call the API and we pass the credential. Const use that our API what will return. Our API will return the user that we have defined how to return on the server side here. Where it is? Okay. Here we return the user. Actually, the user object is constructed again in the DAO, I think, DAO user. Yeah, here. So, in the DAO, we construct the object that will be returned to the API that called the function to perform the access to the database, and this API will return it to the front-end side. So, have you, how to say it? Have you followed how the information goes? Okay, yeah? Yeah, it will contain what we have defined here. If here we'll define the ID, email, and name, so we don't pass the password, and we don't change anything throughout the path, we will have on the front-end side this information here. So this is one thing that is important to remember also when you will do your exam. Remember that when you do one thing at one point, that decision will be kept throughout the application if you don't make any change throughout the path. So, all this to say that here we will have our user information. How we will have it? We can call the login function, login API, with the credential. Okay. So, what are we going to do with this user? Why? Yes, but there is something a bit more important from these. Just let's see in order. Okay, we can put this in a try-catch block, so that if there is an error, we can set an error message or a message. We will, in a moment, we will decide also this. What we have to define here on the front-end side, our server sends this information. Okay, Francesca just logged in. Do we want to save this information? Do we want to save that there is a user logged in? Yeah. So there are two ways actually to do this. You can use a context like you did with the language context here, or you can just use a state. Today we will use the state. So we define first here const user, let's just call it user, and set user, that in the beginning it it is nothing. At this point, and we also keep another state to see if there is a user logged in. So we define a flag. It is just a flag. So logged in. That initially it is false. Okay. So at this point, if everything is correct, we can set our user with the user information that we have received from the server side. We can set the logged in information that will tell us that there is a logged in user. And then we can also set a message with, we can define a function, a state here that is just message, const message, set message. That is it, word string at the beginning. And here we can set message with welcome with the username. I think that we have the username. Let me check the user. Shouldn't be here. Okay, here. Yeah, we have the name. Okay. Otherwise, we set an error message. Set error message. We can just display error. Because if we have done everything correctly, at this point we will have a message like what we decided last time, wrong credentials. Yeah, null credentials. I mean, we will have just this this message. Okay, I want to stay one moment here so that we can define also in this moment the logout function. So we will have just everything in one point. So handle logout, and in this case we will just set the user with a word string, the logged in false, and we can skip the message actually. So set user, set logged in false. And yeah, Copilot was suggesting also to redirect the user to the welcoming page. Yeah, it is an option. I don't know if I have. Define the hook navigate here. Yeah, we have it. So we can navigate to the first page. This is important, not right now because we are just doing this small web application. We haven't defined actually what a logged user can do or what a not logged user can do. But it is extremely important when you will do your exam, in which you will have defined a logged user can perform this, can do this, or can do whatever you want, while an anonymous user, so a not authenticated user, will just see this page or can just do this. So especially if the user, a not authenticated user, can just see one page, the home page, at this point, if you are in a authorized route and the user logs out, you will have to redirect the user to the home page. Okay? Okay, so let's see where we left. I think, okay. We should do yeah, we were here because we were defined here what happens when we click on the submit. We have defined our function here, and so we have to pass it to the login form. So here we will have the handle login. And on this side, we can call our function. So try. Does this return a user? I don't know. Yeah, actually this doesn't return anything. So we can call directly here like this, since without defining this. Wait. Oops. It should be like this. And then if everything is correct, we can, for example, navigate to the home page, I don't know, whatever you want, whatever it is required by the text. Let's say in this case that we just navigate to the home page. Okay. So we import the use navigate. Yeah, for sure you can also do this with just navigate, whatever you prefer. They are the same. And here we define const navigate, and here we can navigate to the home page. Otherwise, catch if there is an error. Let's just return an error, but I don't know if let's see like this. Okay, get wrong. What? Internal server error. Okay, on this side is everything correct. Okay, it is this one without DOM. Okay. I don't know if we have checked everything. If we are missing something, we can just see. I will use yeah.
Maybe a prevent default in the form.
The prevent
Default to avoid page overloading.
The prevent default should be added in the state in the controlled form, if I'm not wrong. I'm not really 100% sure of this, but in the break I can check this if you want, but it should only be used with the control form. Okay. Any other question? Okay, so let's try with a user. Let's see what happens. Okay, error is not defined here. Okay. Mm. Mm. Okay, no error, but we just stayed here, and I don't know if we can see if the login. Yeah, we can, for example, here put a console to check if the user is logged in, and then yeah, we are just missing the navigate here, but we can add it later, or I will show you another way to redirect the user. So let's see if our user is logged in. This mail is too long, and also the password. That in this example is a password. Okay, nothing happened. Let's see. Yeah, we can redirect to the no. Okay, nothing is going on. Yeah, great. I don't know, and the login, but probably this function is not being called. But we put the navigate here, so probably but we have defined here action, and here defined submit. Let's see if we have the credential here. Sorry, I wanted just to print them. Console.log credentials. Let's see. Okay, we don't have the credential here because the form is missing something. Let's see, probably the control ID. It is the only thing that I missed here in the group. Control ID, email, and control ID, password. Okay. Still null. Wow, great. Yeah, I have added the action there. The type is email. The name. that is email here, and name, password. Okay, let's try now. We have the user, we correctly take the credential. So here we have the credential, not null anymore like before. And then we don't navigate back. I don't know why. Does someone knows that why?
Maybe login is not successful.
You think that login is not successful? Yeah, but I think that there is a problem because on the server side we don't receive the get or post, whatever it is, to so here we have props and login that is defined here. Let's see if there is a user on this side so we can check if we have an error. Okay, probably there is an error on the server side. Let me see if here we get an error. Okay, no print on this side, nor in this way. So probably we are missing something here. Yeah, but we get our credential. Let's see, but I think that in some way probably, yeah. No, this function is called because we see the print of the credential, but then happens something here, handle login in our API. No, sorry, it is in app. Here, probably happens something here in login. Let's see, login. Credential password. Yeah, but the fact that there isn't here a request to the server doesn't sound right to me. Let's see. Let's see if we have an error here, but we should see this error. Or here, if we have the user here. Oh, there is an error on this side. Oh no, this is just old. Well, we don't have any print. Okay, let's do like this. Let's take 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and I will try to solve this error in the meanwhile. Okay? And if you have any question, you can come. One question. After the break, would you like to start to see the exam simulation or to check this error and then go back to the exam simulation? Raise your hand. Who wants to start with the exam simulation? Okay. The other option? Okay, Guillaume, we can speak later about this in any way. Okay, let's take your break.